A phobia is a type of anxiety disorder. It is a strong, irrational fear of something that poses little or no real danger. Today, we will talk about Aerophobia Dilasophobia. Telascophobia is the excessive fear of large bodies of water, especially the ocean. The most common symptoms of thalassophobia are the following: tachycardia, muscle tension, swimming, trembling, dry none, dizziness, nausea, stress, catastrophic thoughts and the hidden sense of danger, loss of control over one's own movements, anxiety when the person is near deep water or not. Just thinking about or saying an image of the ocean can bring on symptoms of anxiety, difficult think clearly, panic attacks, avoidance. The person tries to avoid any contact with a large body of water. If you live in a coastal area, your daily life may be affected.
How do people develop the phobia? Well, in the same way that happens when the rest of phobias, there is no clear cause that causes thalassophobia, but there is a multiplicity of factors that can cause it. First of all, we must consider the possibility of having experienced traumatic experiences. These are experiences in which lives a very unpleasant emotional imprint they associate with a variety of stimuli that, when perceived, can trigger in real time the experimentation of physiological and emotional states similar to what was feeling the original traumatic experience. For example, having been on the verge of drowning or having lost someone dear to you in this way can predispose you to experiencing this anxiety disorder. In addition, the biological aspect must be taken into account, and more specifically, the genetic predisposition to read with the large amounts of anxiety in a situation in which they feel that there is or will be a loss of control. In phobias, and one of the most common stress mechanisms has to do with the expectation of suffering an anxiety attack, which generates a loss effect as self-fulfilling a propensity of pleasing experience that was fair and expected becomes a reality.
Some of the common causes, in the same way that it happens with the rest of phobias, there is no cause that causes thalassophobia, but rather there are many factors that can have as a consequence its appearance. However, experts in psychology say that the main reasons for having a phobia of the sea is having lived some negative experience in the past related to the sea, whether they are drowning attempts, shipwrecks, aquatic accidents, accidents with some marine animal, or some loss related to the sea, and there are the most generic causes for suffering thalassophobia. These traumatic events may have occurred in childhood or later in life, although they generally develop as children. Another less common reason thalassophobia victims fear the ocean is because of their ignorance of the sea. Also, the fear of deeps and places that are too dark, fear of the creatures that live in these environments, and this phobia also manifests itself when a person is swimming and he is afraid of the creatures that could be swimming next to him or even under his feet. And this is immediately linked to barophobia, which is the fear of the deep.
Can people overcome the phobia? The answer is yes. Generally, physical therapy using exposure therapy is successful in treating specific phobias. However, sometimes medication can help reduce the anxiety and panic symptoms you experience from thinking about or being exposed to the object or situation you fear. What are some therapies for the treatment of the phobia? In many cases, thalassophobia doesn't require any type of treatment. Only when anxiety is intense and interferes with the person's daily life will a surgical intervention be considered. In this case, one of two approaches is usually used: psychiatric and cognitive behavioral therapy. Psychiatric approach This treatment considers that phobia occurs due to a chemical imbalance in the brain. Therefore, these problems are treated with the use of drugs. Thus, it's intended to return the mind to a state of balance. The next is cognitive behavioral therapy. The focus of this therapy is twofold. On the one hand, it focuses on exchanging obsessive thoughts for irrational ones. This helps the person lose some of their fear of water by convincing themselves that there really is no danger. On the other hand, what is known as progressive exposure is also carried out. In order to overcome his fear of deep water, the therapist increasingly exposes the person to situations in which he is in contact with them.